In this video, I am going to show you how to create a trail map of a place that you've never ever gone to. And the way you do that is you go to one of several sites where people have uploaded runs or mountain bike rides they've done to the web. They recorded them either on a GPS or on their smartphone. One of those sites that's free is connect.garmin.com. Others are mapmyride.com and Strava.com. I like Strava the best, but I'm going to show you connect.garmin.com because it's free. Strava charges a fee to download your GPX file, somebody else's GPX file. So if you go to Explore Activities on connect.garmin.com, it's going to come up with a map where it thinks you are, which is nowhere near where I want to make this map of. So I'm going to click on Start Near Lenox, Mass. And it is showing me the center of town. What I really want is to go to this park, Kennedy Park here. And I'm waiting for it to refresh. So now I'm going to go to Show Filters, change this to last 365 days. I'm going to choose mountain biking only, although it's perfectly fine to do runs. Runs are generally may or may not be on single track trails, whereas mountain bikers are more likely to ride on single track trails. So I'm going to do a search, and this first one says Kennedy Drummond with Josh. If I click on the little bike symbol here, it will draw a little map of the route that they did, so they stayed completely pretty much within Kennedy Park. Now if you click on this, it's going to take you to that page, but if you shift click on it, it'll open up a new window, and what you can do is export that ride as a GPX file. And you can use Garmin Basecamp or Garmin Map Source. I happen to have purchased something called Expert GPS, which is very, very easy to edit tracks in. So I'm going to have this open up in Expert GPS, and there you see the ride that the guy did. I'm going to go back here, close this window, go back here, click on this mountain bike loop here. Now that mountain bike loop is not even near the park, so I'm going to go to the next one. Here looks to be a similar ride that somebody did. This time I think I'll click Control so it opens up in a new tab. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to export it to a GPX file. Let's click OK. Here's this track. You can't tell. If I were to edit this track and give it a name, ABC, say, now you can see that that's a track. I'm going to remove it from here, go to the first activity I downloaded, and paste it in here. So you can see it's in this dash yellow and stuff. This is a trail that this guy didn't do, and this is a little bit of a trail that the second guy didn't do. So if you keep doing this over and over and over, you can start to build a trail map of the area. So let's continue on, and I am going to click on this one. Again, that one is way out of the way. It's not even near Kennedy Park. Odin's MTB is outside of the park, but I want to get, this is part of the trail system here. So I'm going to click on, or let's control click on this one. So it opens in a new tab, and it is opening slowly. So I am going to export this to a GPX file. Click open. I'm going to highlight it, click Control X for edit cut, paste it in here, and so now I have these two. There are trails between these two trails, so I want to keep going. So I am back to the Garmin Explore page, and if I come down, I got October Mountain, I got Spruce with Naven. Spruce is over in October Mountain. Edge of Nemo, I'm not sure what that is. That's over in October Mountain. Pre-Nemo, Day After Christmas is also October Mountain. So I'm not doing too well on finding all the trails here, which is very typical. I don't know. Garmin's tool here is kind of not that great. I like much better something called Strava. If I go log into Strava and I go to Explore and I go to Lennox, Mass, search, and I look at some of these, what they have are segments. So these are things people race up or down or around. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. As you zoom in more and more segments show up. So here is a segment. Here's a segment called Lennox Mountain Fire Road Climb. And these are the people that have ridden that segment. So this guy rode the segment on May 6th. He rode a total of 25 miles that day in 3 hours. So he probably rode a lot of trails to do that much mileage. So what I'm going to do is download his ride and open it with Expert GPS. So there's his ride, and I'm going to select this, cut it. It's thinking. I did edit cut. Now I'm going to go back to this original ride and do edit paste. So now I have a bunch of trails that we didn't have before, and we're starting to build our trail map. So I'm going to continue on doing that, and what I'm going to do is go back to that segment and check out this ride. This guy rode 19 miles. See, the leaders of the segments tend to do long rides, so they're really good ones to click on in order to download their rides. So I am going to click on his ride, and I am going to download it. But apparently he has it marked so you can't download it, which is fine. Some people do that. So I have to go back and choose the third person down. And this person rode 15 miles. I'm going to download the GPX file. So let's see if this adds anything to our map. By the way, I'm using Control X to cut and Control V to paste. So that really doesn't look like it added much to our map. It looks like almost every trail that this person rode was something I already had, which is fine. If you do this often enough, you'll find out what trails are ridden the most, and those will be the most popular ones, and probably the ones you want to consider riding, because people tend to ride the good trails. There might be more trails in here that nobody ever rides, and probably for good reason. So cut that, paste that run, and that's got a little bit of road in here, and doesn't look like there's a whole lot different from what anybody else ever did. So I'm going to go back to here, go back to the segment, pick the next guy. Now this guy rides a lot. He might not have ridden that much. Oh, he rode a totally different trail there. So I am going to go get his file, say OK, take this, Control X, wait for it, Control V, and there you have it. That gives you an idea of what trails are there. Obviously we have one thing being ridden multiple times. We have this only being ridden once. We have this trail being ridden many, many times. So you get a feeling for what people like to ride, and you could create your own track, or you could just follow one of these people's tracks. Like if you wanted to follow this ride, you would just, you wanted to do 18 miles, and this guy's pretty damn fast. So it took him 3.5 hours. So you could expect it to take at least that, but you could follow that ride. But anyway, so now in this thing, Expert GPS, I have essentially a trail map. And you can actually, Expert GPS has some cool features, such as show the topo map. So there's a topo map of the place. And Expert GPS has a very nice feature where you can send the map to the GPS. You can obviously send one of these tracks to the GPS so you can follow it, but you can also download the map. And many Garmin GPS units allow custom maps. So you could have this be the map that is showing on your screen. But I'll demonstrate that in a later video. This was just to show you how to create a trail map. And you could print this map. That is how to create a trail map for a place that you have never been. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks.